Hey everyone, welcome to another Open Cluster Management Community Meetings. Today is 2025, March 28th, and on the agenda today, yours truly, I will be presenting some Argo CD Agent Integration updates. Let me share my screen first. Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Thank you. So I guess before I even get started, I want to point out that the Argo CD Agent website is now up and running, and then I've added the our Open Cluster Management integration contents in there, and it's under the Getting Started bucket and under OCM-IO section. Because OCMIO, we gone over this before, really provides a nice way to bootstrap the Argo CD agent components. So just a quick shout out on the website part. And then moving on to the topic on hand today. So I want to talk about how we have the new integration now with the Argo CD agent now using the OCMIO mTLS for the authentication scheme. So if you remember back then, when I first did the Argo CD agent integration presentation, there's a little there's a little catch where because the Argo CD agent project requires a uh, kind of another authentication or authorization layer, and then by default it is a username and password setup. So on the hub side, you'll need to have like a user credential secret to hold all the credentials and all the agents logins. And then on the spoke side, you will have the credential for your particular agent in order to authenticate and authorize um, to the hub principal Argo CD agent principal component, and that is that's very hard to manage, right? And then so the idea was, we introduced a optional mTLS authentication method, and then with the customized agent identity extraction. So this was in collaboration with the Argo CD maintainer. So let me get to this. Let me use this slide. So again, by default, this is how is set up in the Argo CD agent project. They have the agent components connected to the principal components. It's already using mTLS, and in our OCMIO case, because we're leveraging the add-on template custom signer. We are automatically signing this client search and automatically rotating the client search. But the MTLS is established already through OCMIO, but again they wanted this additional authentication layer because I think it's mostly you know uh, not every system with kind of like the MPLS setup has OCMIO's nice, short-lived client cert rotation. So it's harder to either revoke the certificate, and the agent principal component doesn't know that, right? So that's why by default they sort of have this username and password requirement, and then the the point of this mechanism is also for authorization. So inside the credential on the spoke side, they have the username, and that username actually corresponds with the agent principal queue. and that's where the agent listens for the incoming request, right? So if there's a cluster one, there's Argo CD application created, then it knows, oh, it's for this cluster one queue, and then if it's cluster two, it'll put it on cluster two, etc. So it's for authentication and as well as for authorization purposes. But you know, in OCMIO, when we use the customer signer to do the client-server signing, in the subject, we actually have the managed cluster name. So because of we got this nice system set up, it'll be nice if we can just get rid of this tedious username and password store and authentication scheme, and then just purely relied on the client server for authentication. So this is what the essentially the change is. We we have the principal here, and then it has a pattern to look for the subject name, or the in this case is the agent ID, and then it will extract that agent ID, and then it knows, okay, this is the queue that the agent should have the authorization access to. So it knows, what to place the Argo CD application from the hub and get pulled down to the managed cluster. So an example in OCMIO is, this is a subject, and then you'll provide a regex to extract the the managed cluster name, which is the same as the agent ID. So, for example, again, easier to look at the examples. So the class or the CN is this whole string. Notice the cluster one, which is the managed cluster name, and then we'll define on the principal side. Okay, this is the mTLS. We want to use the mTLS for authentication scheme, and then in that scheme, this is the regex to extract the agent ID. And then on the spoke side, so on the spoke side, you also define, hey, I want to use mTLS to connect, and then this doesn't really have authority, this pattern, this regex, but it's for consistent basis, because when we made this PR, we decided to define so that before the colon here defines the authentication methods. So in this case is mTLS. The other option is user pass. User pass means username and password. And then after the colon for user password is a path to the credential. So just for consistent purposes, mTLS technically doesn't need anything to define at the end here, but I just put it to match the principal, maybe for login purposes or anything. But the authoritative figure here is on the principal side, on the hub side, because that's what defines the extraction to knows the which queue to put in. And then let me see. So this. So again, if we look at our setup now on the hub side, there's no more of this agent principal user password. And then on the client side, there's no more of this credential Argo CD agent user pass. And then we're solely relying on the client search for the authentication. I guess we can also look at the CM. Then Yep. So it's using the mTLS. So if I apply a, so in the new, so what I showed you before was the previous version of the solution. In the new version of the solution, we already got rid of the user and password requirements or the nodes. So let me go, and then let me deploy a Argo CD application on the hub side, and then we can see that it gets propagated down to the spoke side, and then we can see the status is now synced back on the hub as well, and this is doing it without having the Argo CD application reconciler controller on the hub. This is purely using the agent to reflect the status. So the actual Argo CD application status, application reconciler controller is on the spoke side. Okay, so we can see that it's still working and it's now using the mTLS without the username and password. Let's see what else I want to mention. So I have what's currently in the add-on contribute project is it was a in development version of this mTLS authentication, and then but the PR has now been merged, so it's merged and fully merged. But there was a little bit of subtle differences while in my development version, and then after the code review feedback, there was a couple changes. And the reason I'm having this PR on hold for now is because we do have an exciting ArgoCon presentation next week. So Joshua Packer, another maintainer for Open Cluster Management, and sorry, sorry, another maintainer for Open Cluster Management, as well as a also contributed to the Argo CD project before. Uh, our infamous cluster resource decision generator was contributed by Josh. So he is having a ArgoCon EU presentation next week, Tuesday, April 1st. So, and he's gonna go over everything from the Argo CD Agent integration with OCMIO to scaling the GitOps using this collaboration, as well as touch a little bit on our contribution, the mTLS authentication scheme. So, because of that presentation, I kind of want to lock down the image a little bit. So for now, what is in the repo is a kind of like the development phase of the mPLS one. So after the presentation, I'll unhold this PR, and then it will match with whatever's in the Argo CD Agent project upstream. Okay, so that's another side notes. Let me see if I have any more slides. Okay, then these are just the links. So yeah, it's a short demo and just give a quick update on what we're doing. So because that was a really really gap between our integration with the Asian project. And I guess the other thing that I should address is when now that we have the OCM v0.16 release out, we can we should be putting the Argo CD principal component into the Argo CD namespace instead of putting on the hub. on the OpenClass OCM Dash Hub namespace. So before we had it in the Dash Hub namespace because the customer signer was only able to sign stuff inside this namespace. But I think Zhujiang have made an enhancement and it's now released in V16, 0.16, that I can now use the Argo CD agent namespace instead. So that everything under here, the the principal components under here will now live in a more traditional place, which is the Argo CD namespace on the hub. Yeah, so that's another thing that I'll fix. Okay, I did a lot of talking. Are there any questions, any concerns, anything, any comments?
Yeah, so this looks great. So I have two questions. So the first one is that if we put a principal in Argo CD namespace, we still need to uh create a permission like for the permission for the in the OCM file so that it can get the secret in the Argo CD namespace.
I think so, yes, because I think even in the current, I think there's some, even in the current chart, I think there's some kind of, yeah.
Hold
So
on.
I, yeah, I think, was it this one? Maybe not. Wait, let me
Yeah,
check.
I think this one.
Yeah, you think it's this one? Okay. There's something that elevates the permission so that I can read the thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yep.
No, go ahead, please.
So it'll be the same thing, except it's in Argo CD Agent namespace. That's all. Yep. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And another one is about search rotation. So in our case, we will rotate the search based on the CSR experience second. So what will Argo CD agent automatically reload the search? How will it behave on when the search is rotated?
So I that's a good question. I don't know. I that's a really good question. I actually have not waited. How long did you say the cert lasts again? I actually have a cert example. Let me see. Does it show the time they expire? Yeah, not before, not after. So it's like a day, one day,
Uh, by default, I think it's 1 hour.
1 hour.
But
Okay.
yeah, but it is customizable. So uh, yeah, maybe they in the agent they have already handled that. Just to ensure, because we will in the OCM the CSR will be rotated.
Yep, I'm pretty sure. So I guess that's a good point. So what I added is not the mTLS connection because, as I mentioned before, it already exists. So they already have the communicate over gRPC secure using mTLS in place. So they must have because they're aware of the cert can be rotated as well. Right? They probably have stuff that they already have code that be able to handle that. What I've added is essentially just this part, right? The principal extracting the certificate. That's like another authentication option. Essentially, getting rid providing that authorization part. So place the agent ID in. I mean, place the agent into the right queue. So yeah, I mean, I can double check to make sure that it's working. If I waited long enough, and then if I can just leave it here for a day and see and test it again, then I don't know. But I'm pretty sure it's already in place. Yeah, but that's a really good question, DJ. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'm gonna start my presentation then. Uh, so I want to give a huge thank you to the Argo CD maintainer, especially Jan, for helping me with this the design review as well the code review as well on this PR. So without his help, I wouldn't be able to get this done right before the ArgoCon. And then finally, one last thing is, it's really exciting. We have KubeCon EU next week. We have multiple presentation. What I mentioned before, the ArgoCon from Josh. August is also going to be there presenting, and then we have the project booth, and also Ming Yang as well is going to do another lightning talk, which is pretty exciting. And we have a lightning talk as well, another lightning talk. Oh no, that is the lightning talk. So yeah, if you're gonna be in the Europe, you're gonna be in the KubeCon EU. Please check out our Open Cluster Management booth. Come talk to us, and then hopefully we can get connected. That's all I have. QJ, do you want to say something? Do you want to touch up on the 0.16 release or anything?
Yeah, so I just put a message on the Slack that we have released 0.16, and um so we have discussed that last time. It's a huge release and there's many new features added, and thank you for everyone who has been contributing on this release. This is great. And also we are, maybe I can share my screen.
Please do.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Um, so also we are starting to plan for the 1.0. I try to add all the issues here in this tab, but you can also see all the child issues here for the 1.0 release. So yeah, and there's bunch of things, and we also see many new contributors that coming to help us on the preparation for the 1.0. So please take a look at this tab and also this issue and see if anything is missing, anything that need to be adjusted, and let us know. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Shane. We're excited for the 1.0 release, and it was a great 0.16 release as well. Okay, I think we can wrap it up. Thank you everyone for attending again, and see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.